Hello viewers, this is Paladin of Odin, and this is some more Magic the Gathering Online. This is a two-headed giant modern match. I'm taking out my newly modified green-blue hexproof unblockable deck. Wow. My partner appears to be playing, I want to say a rat samurai deck, but it could just be a rat deck. Okay, go fuck yourself, shuffler. But he did also pull 2 Heroes Downfalls. So at least he can't complain about his hand. And this has happened in the last 8 games that I've played with this deck. The shuffler has made it so that I have to mulligan at least twice. My deck has 22 lands in it. There is no reason that every time I play this deck I should get mana screwed in the first 2 hands. So, maybe white life gain? And what is this guy doing? And you see that deck? See that kind of shit? All I needed was a normal hand with him in it and an untapped land. Instead, you give me a handful of blue cards and green mana, and then another hand with only 1 land. I did have to mulligan twice, didn't I? Pretty sure I did. Interesting. He is playing a rat deck. It just so happens that there are a lot of rats from the Kamigawa block, which typically makes them samurai and ninjas. I mean, he's really good. And he is not bad. And then if you can ninjutsu this guy, he is a pain in the ass. And then on top of that, if you can ninjutsu twice, you know, like if you have 2 ninjutsu guys, you ninjutsu one guy in an attack and get through, and then the next time you attack you ninjutsu with the second guy and then pop the first ninjutsu guy back into your hand. It can drive people crazy. Yeah, I think I'll go with the Ledge Walker. I've heard from other players in some of my past matches how Invisible Stalker decks are really popular. And all I can think is my deck an Invisible Stalker deck? I mean, it has it in it, and a lot of my creatures are pretty similar to him. Interesting. But I did take a few things out and add a few things in, like Kosi's Trickster. I took out 2 of the Glade Cover Scouts and put 2 of these in. Just because, you know, first turn, if you throw this guy out, a lot of times you're going to run into people like this multiplayer Jace guy over here and their fetch lands. The other night I ran into a guy who was playing a ridiculous land search ramp deck, and I got Kosi's Trickster on first turn, and he didn't really know what to do about it. He was straight mono green, so he didn't really have a whole lot of answers. So a lot of the time he just sat there with his land search stuff on the field, waiting until he finally decided, I guess I should do this now, kind of a thing. I should have still been able to set up the auto yield, but it didn't let me. Really? You're wasting that on a 1-drop? I mean, you realize that Moneyman over here with his dual lands and his planeswalkers probably has some things that are worth heroes downfalling more than a Soul's Attendant. And that's another thing about the Kosi's Trickster. God, why is it so hard for me to say that? Kosi's Trickster. Another really good thing about it is because it doesn't have hexproof, a lot of the time your opponents will think about killing it because they can't touch my other guys unless they have like sac effects or AoE. So sometimes it'll draw fire. Especially in two-headed giant games. You know, this guy might actually look like a threat more than, you know, say something my partner plays, and they'll decide to kill it instead of the thing my partner plays. And I always prefer, I like being able to do that kind of thing for my partners. Path of Bravery. As long as your life total is greater than or equal to your starting life total, your creatures get +1/+1. Whenever one or more of your creatures you control attack, you gain life equal to the number of attacking creatures. Never seen that before. That's actually pretty good. Sacrifice a creature, target player discards a card. But like I was saying, it's just one of the things I like doing is providing a distraction or even a shield for my partner. And with this deck, in its original incarnation, it basically left my partner out to dry all the time because they could never touch my creatures. So if they had a creature kill, they'd always hit my partner. And I really didn't like that. To me it felt unfair for my partner to have to be, you know, the bullseye while I got to run around, for, you know, doing things for free. But it's looking like we're doing pretty well. But on the flip side, we have a mono-white player, so he has access to half a dozen wrath effects. This other guy, though, it looks like he's getting mana screwed, which works out into our favor, but he's playing black, so he also has wrath effects. He's playing red, so he has AoE damage. He has blue, which, you know, you don't see a whole lot of anymore, but blue has cards like Evacuation and, oh, what's that newer one? Oh, I can't remember what it's called. It has Overload, and it says, it's two, a blue and a colorless, to return target non-land permanent you don't control to its owner's hand. And then the Overload targets all of the non-land permanents you don't control. So, depending on how his... Oh, my partner has Damnation. Depending on how their decks are built, there can be a lot of answers on their side of the field. But both of them look to have been stuck on 3 mana, which is incredibly fortunate for us. And I'm not going to throw anything down, because I don't know what these guys have up their sleeves. And if my partner has to throw down Damnation, if the situation is really that bad, then at least I will have 2 more creatures that I can throw down. Because that's one of the problems that I have with this deck, is I really don't like ending up having to basically throw everything... what's the phrase I'm thinking of? Putting all your eggs in one basket. I don't like throwing all my enchantments on a single creature, and I don't like dumping my hand full of creatures onto the field when I can get wiped out. This way, there's a little bit of insurance. And my Trickster gets another counter. Let's see, does he go for another black mana? Because that's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting him to probably have to get a dual land, pay for the 2, so he can get a black. Oh, he went for a swamp. But I'm expecting something like a Damnation from him. It'll kill my Trickster. I'll lose the Boar Umbra, but I'll still have the Ledgewalker. And he'll be a 4/4. Alright, let's see it. Called it. Okay, they are on 10 life. He finally got his 4th mana. His partner, let's see what he does. If he's still stuck on 3, that would be really good. If not, I don't really think it's going to make much of a difference. Ooh, it does look like he's stuck. Makes me wonder what's in his hand. And my partner pulled the Black Sun Zenith. Okay. An Ordeal of Thassa would be really nice right now. I mean, granted, it wouldn't deal as much damage as if I got another Boar Umbra, but I don't really have a way of killing him. Did he concede? I really hate when it does this. Yep, he conceded. I really hate that the scroll doesn't always work on the game minutes. Sometimes it stays at the top like it did right there, and I had to scroll all the way through to find it. Other times it works just fine. I cannot explain why it works sometimes and not others. There are a lot of things in my deck that could, oh, he paid the 2. Garruk? Garruk isn't gonna save you. You can't block my creatures with the 3/3. I don't know if my opponent realizes that he's dead or not, or maybe he's just being a good sport and finishing the game. That would be awfully rare. So we got rid of Garruk. Okay. GG. Come on, partner. Let me play. If you would just pass priority, I could kill this guy in less than 10 seconds. Thank you. There we go. Didn't get to see a whole... I mean, you got to see Kosi's Trickster, but not a lot of the other new elements to this deck, so I'll try and do another episode with this deck. But if you liked what you saw, hit that like and subscribe button for me, and I'll see you in the next video.